Henry is cooking.
Hello.
That's really creepy.
Now, last week in the lab was, of course, a continuation of the week before. And so just to let you know, we did translocation assay of CD36 and GLUT4. And so after the translocation assay, last week I had to do a protein determination, Bradford protein determination assay, to see which proteins were present, rather the amounts of proteins that were present, the concentrations, and perform a Western blot based on that. And also I also did another Western blot based on an siRNA test that I had done the week before, which was a knockdown of 2 subunits on the VATPase pump. And last but not least, an immunoprecipitation was performed with 5 different conditions. And so my role in that experiment was to once again do Bradford protein determination assay and Western blots to detect the proteins.
Yeah.
Alright, so last week at the lab I actually ran 2 Western blots, one for the TRKB receptor, just the presence of it, and another one for the phosphorylation of it. Like I said, like I've been telling you before, we're trying to test an agonist for that receptor, and as it appears it's working. So this week I'm actually gonna run 2 more Western blots on CREB, which is a downstream signaling pathway, like the result of the activation of the TRKB receptor. So that's about it. I actually also took a few more pictures of cells throughout the treatment, so to see how they differ. And
hi. So last week, I just continued with doing what I've been doing the week before, taking more pictures. But this time around, I have much more pictures, and I have to go through the pictures, figuring out which area the phosphodiesterase is, which areas doesn't have it, which areas do I have co-localization with other neural markers, which areas don't, what does that mean, and also I have to put together the first discussion part of my paper, because my PI wanted to know exactly what I think about what I'm seeing through the pictures, because this is, I think, the first time I was just going through the same research. So that was basically my job, figuring out what does that mean, what I see in the pictures, and trying to draw a certain conclusion about what I see so far. I think that.
Okay, from last time I left off, I think I finished IL-1 beta and I was starting IL-6, and so the receptors for IL-6, and so I'm doing IL-6, or looking for IL-6 receptors.
Clean up in IL-6.
In the tissue samples that we did IL-1 beta, because we were trying to create this little story about the localization of these cytokines or cytokine receptors in dyskinesia. Anyways, and so not only that have I been looking for IL-6, but I've also been quantifying IL-1 beta, and I do that with beta-actin, which is a housekeeping gene for protein, and so it's expressed in all the tissues, so we use that as a basis to quantify IL-1 beta, and I'm going to be doing the same with IL-6, but we hit another snag, and so we had to order our beta-actin, so we're waiting for that to come in so I can do to quantify IL-6, so I'm waiting for that, and in the meantime, I'm writing my, I'm writing my poster and starting my paper, so that's been the last week and a half, 2 weeks.
Alright, so 2 weeks ago, actually, since we haven't met for 2 weeks, we did DNMT3A staining for 48 cells, so that actually took like a couple of days, and then we mounted those cells, so that actually took 2 days, because you have to individually like wet mount them, so I learned that, and then, yes, and then Other than staining, I've just been in the stereology room. I'm getting really good at stereology now because I usually spend an afternoon in there, and actually sometimes I stay until like after it closes, like until like 7 or 8. And I found out my card is actually a 24-hour card, so that was interesting. And so I actually can do maybe 3 or 4 brains a day now, as opposed to before I only did like 1 or 2. So I'm getting really good at that. That's about it.